Hey, it's Rachel Cooke, your modern mentor. I'm the founder of Lead Above Noise, a firm specializing in helping teams and organizations create better working experiences in service of better results. I really do think that one of the best ways to enhance our working experience is to ensure that we are also prioritizing life experiences. That good stuff that happens outside of work. And letting those moments really inform and inspire us. And I had the amazing fortune recently, speaking of incredible experiences, of seeing Taylor Swift live, all the eras, and truly it was unforgettable. She is a tremendous performer. She kind of stays with you for weeks. And I've been noticing that my brain has started to think about my work through the lens and maybe the wisdom of some of her songs. Today, I would love to share some workplace-related reminders that I feel like I took away from her tour. And while I am not presently wearing a bejeweled bodysuit, I am hoping these insights manage to find you all too well. Oh, and anything that sounds weird, it's probably a reference to one of her lyrics. Just Google it. Okay, here goes. Let's start with karma. Because for me, it's not really a boyfriend or a cat, but I do believe it's real. As in, what you give is what you get. I did an episode a while back on being a giver. And it was largely based on Adam Grant's research that demonstrates that being a giver at work actually helps you get ahead. So this one is a reminder that being mindful of the needs of others and going out of your way to attend to those needs is an amazing way to drive your own success. And these acts can be small gestures. Things like noticing a colleague hasn't spoken yet in a meeting and just checking in, asking if they have something they'd like to add. Or inviting colleagues from other parts of the organization to participate in a brainstorm you're running, capturing a broader range of ideas early. Or checking in on a teammate who's recently been through something. Or offering a constructive piece of feedback to someone whose performance you know will improve if they just action it. Or sharing a book or podcast recommendation with someone who could really benefit. All of these are generous acts. And note that they benefit both of you and the recipient. Good karma doesn't have to mean that you suffer. It just means you're being thoughtful beyond your own immediate needs. Okay, next up, we have shake it off. Friends, these days, so many of us are working in industries and companies that require agility. We have to be testing and experimenting and learning as we go. Relatively few of us are working on assembly lines anymore. Certain professions, of course, require us to follow the instructions and follow them perfectly. Like, I strongly prefer that my pilot not be testing and learning as we journey 10,000 feet in the air. But for most of us, the world of work has changed significantly over the past few years, and we have all had to be innovating on how, when, and where we're getting things done. Innovating requires an appetite for experimentation. Some will succeed and others will not. So when something doesn't land as you'd planned it, you have to be able to shake it off. As Ted Lasso might say, be a goldfish. Spinning in failure prevents us from learning, from picking ourselves up and trying again. Shaking it off. Okay, next, tolerate it. As in, don't. My favorite lyric here, it goes like this. You assume I'm fine, but what would you do if I break free? Now granted, Taylor's context is romantic, but the question is a valid one if you imagine your leader, not lover, on the other side. Especially in a recession, which we may or may not be dancing with at the moment, too many companies assume they can neglect to care for their people. Because who's going to leave now? But they are wrong, or at least I hope they are. If something in your experience is off, don't tolerate it. Get your feedback where it needs to go to be heard. Are you struggling to deliver results? Is your leader not giving you the feedback you need to improve? Are meetings too many, too long, too purposeless? Are boundaries not being respected? Your experience is valid in any economy, and your company needs you to have the courage to express it constructively, like with specific ideas on how they can improve it. Okay, next, can we talk style? Because this one for me is all about your personal brand. Red lips and short skirts, those are your call to make. I do not advise in that arena. But your professional style, like how you present yourself, your expertise, your story, your ambition, this needs to be uniquely yours. So how are you showing up on LinkedIn? Also, are you on LinkedIn? I really hope so. What experiences are you sharing? What articles are you posting? What posts are you commenting on? Who's in your network? The answers to all of these should be intentional. You have done lots of things, but highlight the ones that represent not just what you've done, but what you want to do more of. I am sure you are widely read, but make sure that you're sharing articles that represent an area of expertise you really want to be showcasing right now. Comment on posts by friends or your organization, but also be sure to comment on posts attached to hashtags that you care about. Put yourself in conversations strategically. And grow your network thoughtfully, even your digital one. Connect with experts in your field. Connect with recruiters in desired companies. Connect with people who could someday be your partners or clients or your collaborators. Show off that professional style. And finally, let's round it all out with anti-hero. Because you deserve to be rooted for. They say success comes down to who you know. And I don't disagree, but I just think there's some nuance to the whole who you know part. Like, it's not just about knowing people, but about cultivating a network of champions, of supporters and advocates and sponsors. You want people who don't just know your name, but who are actively championing your success. Who are you proactively connecting with that would drop your name the next time a big opportunity arises? Who do you know who will go out of their way to introduce you to a hiring leader? Who will passionately recommend you? Who will give you the hard feedback because they care about making you the best version of you? This all comes back, of course, to karma. When you're mindful of the needs of others, when you show up as a giver, it makes others want to give in return. So find these people, build these symbiotic relationships, be giving to them, and allow them the space to return the favor. Be the hero, not the anti. Okay, join me next week for another great episode. Until then, visit my website at leadabovenoise.com if your organization is looking to dial up its employee experience or deliver some leadership development that activates change. You can follow Modern Mentor on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Find and follow me on LinkedIn. Thanks so much for listening and have a successful week. Modern Mentor is a quick and dirty tips podcast. It's audio engineered by Dan Firabend with script editing by Adam Cecil. Our podcast and advertising operations specialist is Morgan Christensen. Our digital operations specialist is Holly Hutchings. And our marketing and publicity associate is Davina Tomlin.